Seeing a homeless man die changed my life. I used to work downtown in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Seeing homeless people was common in that part of the town. It wasn't Skid Row, but seeing a drunk homeless guy sleeping on the sidewalk or begging for change was an everyday occurrence. I had a few favorite restaurants I loved to go to for lunch and had specific routes I would take to get to them. I knew exactly where I would see a homeless person, and many of them I had grown familiar with. I never spoke to or acknowledged them, but I saw them. One day I wanted to go to Popeyes, and of course I knew my specific route. Once I got to a certain point, the usual suspect was not there, but when I got further up the street there, he was lying on the sidewalk. It wasn't the normal type of lying next to the building that drunkards would usually do. He was unusually lying across the sidewalk. To this day, I can remember my arrogant thoughts as I saw him. The homeless guy needs to get a job and do something with himself. And I stepped over him like he was just a puddle of water on the ground. And then I went to Popeyes, got my usual two-piece spicy with a side of red beans and rice. I sat there and ate for 45 minutes, thinking about what club I'd go to on the weekend. Once I was done eating, it was time to head back to work. Well, when I got back to the spot where the homeless guy was lying there, he was still lying there. But this time, the paramedics were there performing CPR on him, and I saw them pronounce him dead. It haunted me. How could I have just stepped over him like that? Like he wasn't a human being lying in the street just because he was homeless. Could I have saved his life if I had simply stopped to call for help sooner instead of leaving him lying there for 45 minutes? I cried. Not only for him, but for the uncaring human being I had become. I cried writing this because I can still see him lying there all these years later. Since then, I help the homeless whenever I can. If they ask me for food, I never say no. Even if I don't have any cash to spare, I will always look them in the eyes and acknowledge them as people that still deserve respect. And I don't know how many people I have helped since then. I do it because it's the best feeling ever when I get the opportunity to help someone in need and they smile at me thankfully. But in a sense, I do it because I'm trying to apologize to him. If you liked the story, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any story.